Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. I, 21 female, relocated from the small town my parents live in to one of the metropolitan cities to pursue a career in creative arts. I am making headway in it and getting good grades. My family is a pretty small and conservative one. Although we have relatives around us, most of my family members, immediate and extended, are fully in the medical field or have a career in applied sciences, and it's a norm, a tradition in my family. I have several relatives, my parents included, who hold PhDs in their respective fields. So my parents didn't like the fact that I decided to go into arts rather than enroll in one of these prestigious colleges given my academic records. They tried to persuade me to take the more traditional route since I am the first child and should be setting an example for my siblings. But I stood my ground that it was my life, my dream, and my passion to be an artist. My good grades notwithstanding, I'll be very unhappy if I'm forced to go into anything else. They couldn't make me give it up, so they left me to my decision. I decided to move to the city because it held better opportunities for my kind of artwork. The first year after I relocated, my cousins were posting pictures taken at a Christmas party in my parents' home. I recognized the surrounding and decor. It was a huge deal. I could see a lot of our relatives and my family members in the group pictures. I asked about it and my cousin said my parents hosted a large Christmas party and almost all our relatives showed up. Was a bit surprised no one told me about it, so I called my parents. They said they didn't tell me about it since they didn't want me traveling through the bad weather. The weather was fair that day and I told them so. They waved it off and gave another excuse that they felt it would have affected the project I was working on. I was a bit miffed since I was quite alone on Christmas Day. It happened again the next year, and this time it was quite a lavish party. From the pictures and posts I saw, I knew my parents outdid themselves. Again, I wasn't told about the party until afterwards. My mom said they didn't want me to spend money on transportation and thought it was wise to spend Christmas in the city. But they invited my cousins who lived outside the states and whom I currently out-earn. I've never complained about needing money from them, so the excuse was lame. I didn't let it go as usual because I was hurt. I didn't like being left out of family occasions, and my family know how introverted I am. I looked forward to going home that Christmas, but my parents discouraged me and offered to come by instead. They didn't and didn't tell me about the change in plans. By the third year, I was riled up. I confronted them over the constant exclusion, but my parents claimed that it was not intentional as they had reasons for not telling me and that it was for my well-being. I was quite hurt and asked them if they stopped loving me because I refused to follow the family's tradition and study a medical or science course in college, but they waved off my complaints as childish and inconsequential. This year has not been very favorable to my family. My dad had an emergency heart surgery, and it left a hole in my parents' finances. Didn't help that daddy was working less than before due to his physical condition. So I was surprised when I got an invite from mom for this year's Christmas party. I feel they want to make it a family ritual and I was so delighted to be remembered. Now it's 2 weeks to Christmas and mom called me asking that I send an urgent loan of $2,000. She's been this way since she told me of their plan to host this year's Christmas party, calling frequently to request for little money here and there. And I've been sending it across, but the demand was becoming too much. There was no way I could part with $2,000 of my savings. I asked her why she's been borrowing money and if dad is well. She tried to avoid answering but eventually told me there was no money for the party and I needed to send some more. So basically the only reason I was invited was because they needed me to pay for their party. I was disappointed, to say the least, so I told her I wouldn't be giving out any money any longer. I refused to be used in such a manner. Now, my parents are having fits over my decision. They're accusing me of wanting to ruin Christmas for my siblings and saying I want to bring public embarrassment to them. Update. My dad called concerning the loan, blaming me for reading meanings into ordinary things, so I asked him if they would have invited me to the party had his finances been okay, and he stuttered through my question. They both tried to gaslight me and force me to give them the money, but I told them if they were ashamed of my career choice, then they should be ashamed of taking the money I earned from it. I have since stopped taking their calls, and I think I prefer spending Christmas alone again than spending it with my judgmental parents and my siblings. You're not the a-hole, OP. Your parents are. They are ruining their relationship with you simply because they can't get over their pride. You're an adult who should be able to do whatever she wants, and if what you want is to study arts instead of going into the medical field, then you should be allowed to do so with your parents in support, instead of casting you aside like you're something to be ashamed of. You must have been crushed when you figured out that the only reason why you were invited to the Christmas party this time was because they needed your money. That's the last straw. Go no contact with them, at least until they get back to their senses, and apologize for treating you this way. Take care, OP. Story 2. So, it was my birthday a couple of months ago. Had a party, got some gifts. My friend Mandy gave me a super cute bikini. I liked it, said thanks. She had ripped the tags off, but whatever. Anyways, went to the community pool with my roommate, wore a bikini, got in the water. Roommate immediately is like, girl? I look and see that this bikini is now kinda see-through. Haha, good joke, Mandy. Anyways, Mandy invited me over to her place to hang out with her and her boyfriend and a few others. Most leave and we're still hanging out. I'm like, hey, what if we get in your hot tub? I go change after them and meet her boyfriend in the hot tub. She's getting new drinks. I hop in, immediately he's looking at my chest. I pretend I don't notice and just make small talk. She comes out a few minutes later and just looks in shock. Eventually gets in, is that the one I bought? Yeah, I love it. I wear it everywhere. Make up some stuff about how I wore it to the beach, some party with lots of guys, etc. And she's just like, oh, we're in the hot tub for 20 or 30 minutes. Eventually get out and change. She approached me after and was like, I'm sorry, I thought you'd notice, but it goes kinda see-through. I'm like, yeah, I know. Why did you buy me a ducking see-through bathing suit? She's like, it's a joke. Wait, you know? So you just spent the last 30 minutes flashing my boyfriend on purpose? I reply, I'm just wearing my birthday gift from her. Anyways, am I the a-hole? Everyone sucks here, OP. Two wrongs don't make a right. Your friend sucks for trying to publicly embarrass you with that bikini, assuming, of course, she knew how transparent it would turn in the first case. You haven't really said how you knew this was on purpose yet, but you suck for flashing them for 30 minutes on purpose in a hot tub after a night of partying. Both of these situations are about missing consent. I get it. The boyfriend probably enjoyed it and your friend will get over it, but in the end, you flashed them for 30 minutes without their consent, which isn't cool. Now for some comments. Everyone sucks here and you know it. Obviously, she's the a-hole for letting you wear a see-through bikini in public, but you're an adult. Deal with it like an adult, knowingly exposing your body to people that did not actively consent to seeing it is not the adult way to handle things. OP, this is fantastic. I won't give a judgment. I'm leaning fairly heavily towards no a-holes here, but a part of me does feel like everyone sucks because you did purposefully do something that you know would bother your friend. She absolutely deserves it though, and you simply outplayed her. She was playing checkers when you were playing chess. Well done. No a-holes here, but everyone sucks here if you squint. Her joke was just as harmless as yours. Not tasteful in my opinion, but harmless and not a-holey. I don't see it as much as either of you being jerks and more like a back and forth prank. Now you're on equal ground, lol. Also, if her boyfriend was distracted, that's on him, not you or her. Obviously, it's embarrassing at the moment, but it's not going to have long-lasting effects. Besides maybe on their friendship. That's all I meant by harmless. That and the fact that I don't see that what she did was any worse than what her friend did. Story 3. My daughters 14 and 16 are on the same dance team. Their team won a competition on Sunday, and we were all so excited and proud of them. After the competition, my dad suggested we go out to eat and said he would pay for whatever we wanted. Older daughter, who loves seafood, has been asking for years to go to a restaurant that has unlimited crab legs, but it's a very pricey restaurant, so we've never been able to. She immediately suggested this restaurant. My dad liked the suggestion. My younger daughter suggested, We go to her favorite restaurant, a local Mexican restaurant instead. We've been there many times as it's much more affordable. Knowing this would be a wasted opportunity, I said my older daughter's suggestion made more sense because it was somewhere we had never been. Younger daughter complained she wouldn't like anything there, but I assured her the menu would have more than crab legs. We got there and sure enough, there were many dishes that didn't have seafood, including steak, my youngest favorite. Even though there were dishes without seafood, my youngest daughter said she wasn't hungry because the restaurant smelled weird. I ordered her steak anyways. Youngest daughter pouted throughout the meal. She picked at her steak. Older daughter was very happy and completely absorbed in the crab legs. My mom tried to talk to my younger daughter about the competition, but she wasn't responsive. At the end of the meal, we were all stuffed except for the youngest. My dad told everyone to pick a dessert to go, except for the youngest because she's clearly not hungry. I asked my dad to leave her alone, and he did, but she was already upset. When we got home, I tried to talk to her. I explained that this was a rare opportunity, and sometimes we need to let someone else have something nice. I told her I could have taken us to the Mexican restaurant this weekend. She said it's not the same because the restaurant we go to the night of the competition is special, and we went somewhere she didn't like. I pointed out that she didn't know she didn't like it because she didn't try it. She said I know she hates seafood and that the restaurant is known for its seafood, so of course she wouldn't want to go there after a special event. She was annoyed all Monday and Tuesday but started to mellow out on Wednesday. This morning she asked if we were going to the Mexican restaurant tomorrow. I said not this week because of her behavior. We'll see next week. She wasn't happy. Am I being too hard on her? I think she was very rude to her grandparents, but I know when you're a teenager, everything feels like a bigger deal than it is. Should I have just let her behavior slide and taken her to the Mexican restaurant? Now for some comments. Not the a-hole, you are teaching her a valuable lesson here. Too many people seem to have the mentality of, when I am done being angry and move on, you all have to as well. As though her mood improving absolves her of any accountability for her actions while being pissy. A classic tactic in my house growing up. Not the a-hole, and can y'all take me to dinner with you next time? That sounds amazing. Steak or crab legs are both amazing. Your youngest pitched a fit like she was 5. Every point you made was right. Take the rarer opportunities. It isn't favoritism, and you offered to go to the Mexican restaurant later. Hell, I would have been happy if we went to McDonald's. Just mention food is involved anywhere, and I'm baited. Not the a-hole. Being a part of a family means sometimes, lots of times, doing something because it's what someone else really wants to do or try. And as I seem to learn the hard way all too often, rewarding, sulky, petulant behavior for the short-term victory always comes back to bite you as a parent. I would hold firm on no consolation trip to the Mexican restaurant, really that now too. Now, they're both on the dance team and the younger daughter should get to feel like she's being celebrated too. So maybe next time there's a family treat, it's her choice, since the older daughter made the pick this time.